Back in 2014, I ended up going to Kingdom Bound for the very first time, and I got a souvenir that at the time I was like super into this like military and training and all this stuff. So they actually had a paracord bracelet at this place. But I saw the message on it back then, and it's been 6 years now, and I want to read that to you. So the Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. Psalms chapter 18, verse 2. It came in handy this week. I have to say, it got pretty dark. It was a pretty intense moment for us. The police were almost involved. And when I had that moment where I was actually thinking to myself, something bad's going to happen to me, I thought to myself, if that's going to be what God puts in front of me, let them come. Let the police come over and we're going to have a conversation and we can set the record straight. It ended up not being that situation at all. Amidst all of these back and forths, I started to get a sense of an attack. I got my Bible out and I went into my office and I started to pray. My heart ripped in half and I started to cry. Yeah, I am a crier. Sometimes I do. It was just, I stopped everything and I cried for what I felt was 3 hours. My wife told me later it was like 3 minutes, but when I was finished praying, I took my phone off of mute. And right when I took my phone off of mute, a call was coming in from a number I recognized. So I answered the call. I'm like, how did you know? I just literally took my phone off of mute. That was crazy. What's up? What can I help you with? And he's like, I just want to check in on you. Are you okay? And I said, yes, I am okay. I explained to them that God is good and God is in this. And yes, I did. I didn't even know if this guy was a Christian, actually. I just kind of went right into it. And I said, you know what? God is in this. And if God's in this, this is good. And he opened up to me. And he shared with me job loss in his life. And he was consoling me in transitional periods in his life. And he also told me that God has brought him close again. Only in the last couple of weeks, I think he said 2 weeks, that God had called him back to the flock because he had lost his way. And God had given him a very specific mission. God wanted to prove his power by him reaching out to individuals that he did not give names to. He said, you need to find people and individuals to witness to show them the power of God. I paraphrase a little bit there. But the first call that he got put on his heart at the moment that I was praying was me. He wanted to outreach to me. And when he heard about my story and what I shared with him, the only thing he had was an undeniable affirmation that God is good. And I'm going to share that message with you again. God is so good in this, and he is my rock. Well, the calls didn't stop there. This was about 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I was on the phone talking about God and talking about situations and how, even as I told you guys last week, that God's plan sometimes looks chaotic to us. It looks scary to us. And it makes us feel small. It makes us feel scared. It makes us feel like we're going to be going through something we don't even know we can handle ourselves. But when I sat here telling you guys this last week, I had no idea what I was going to be prepared for this week and what I was going to have to go through. And my Lord is my rock. My Lord is my deliverer. And when I got presented those hardships this week, I steadfast. And we're on the other side of this now. And looking back at that whole situation, I don't look at the negative. I don't look at that turmoil that was maybe about a 2-hour confrontation. I look at the next 7 hours of witnessing to people who may not have ever heard Jesus' name before. I witnessed to people and had conversations with people about a traumatic experience and how I handled it and how he led me through it. And the one response I had from a lady was, "You're a very unique individual. You look at things from a very different perspective. I can't believe you handled yourself like that." You have to be honest. You have to be transparent with people. And sometimes you're going to overshare. But when you start keeping secrets with people and holding back from people, you don't know that that hurt or that secret may have been that exact thing that that person at that moment needed to hear to maybe share something with you. Because maybe they were holding back on something. Maybe they didn't want to share with you because they were a little embarrassed or they were a little insecure about something. And think about that for a moment. Think about how that layers and layers and layers and compacts on each other. We're just walking around hiding everything from each other and no one really knows who we are. We're going to walk around one day and say, "Hi, how are you?" And you're going, "Okay." "How you doing today?" "Oh, we're okay." We're in the middle of a pandemic. We are in the middle of lockdown situations where people are getting tickets for walking their dogs with their kids or holding hands. People aren't okay. People aren't all right. People need to share these things because people need to hear each other. People need to open up with each other and be a little bit more honest. Sometimes honesty hurts. Sometimes honesty isn't what you want to hear. But the other side of that coin is maybe that's exactly what you needed to hear. Maybe that's the thing that's going to make you feel better with that pain that you have in your heart. Maybe that stranger needed to share that moment because maybe they were ending their life that day and reached out to one individual who had no consequence in their life, and they shared a tidbit of information, and you responding in the correct way saved a life. You don't know. You just don't know. So where do we go from here? Well, all I can say is my path is clear. Something that was shared with me was a visualization of video games. When the level gets harder, that means you're progressing. Levels do not get easier in video games. Every time you defeat a boss or end a level or beat a race, that next race is going to be harder. If it wasn't, it wouldn't even be fun. They wouldn't even be video games. So when life gets a little harder, it means you're leveling up. This week was pretty hard. So I know I'm leveling up. I know my God has me on a path that is moving me to the next level. I look forward to hearing from you guys and sharing and talking with you guys about these stories. We were talking with some individuals later after this situation and just talking about how it's empowered their life and how the situations and how they were handled affected their life to the point that they were moved, that they said to us, "My spirit is on fire. I am so motivated right now. I just needed to hear that." If you feel that you don't have anyone to talk to, or no one in your life, or they're just maybe a little too close to you to share something with, send us an email. We're both here to listen. We just love sharing this with you, and the more support that we get, the more we're going to be able to share, and the more stories we're going to be able to have. I'm going to challenge you guys to go out this week and talk to someone you haven't, or share something you haven't. Go out there, be encouraged, and be blessed.